Hello, motivators. Timothy McCain here, and I hope you have been having an absolute incredible day. Today, I want to shine some light in some dark places. I want to encourage someone that's hurting. I want to equip a loving family member or friend that is seeing someone walking through a difficult time. Today is National Suicide Prevention Day, and even just yesterday, I saw a post of a pastor with a family who committed suicide. Let me tell you, pain does not look at someone's title. It's not concerned about someone's age. Depression and difficulty and anxiety does not have boundaries. It could affect anybody and everybody, and it's very important that we start talking about these things. And so, the thing about hurting in silence is that it's the hard door to kick down. And so today I just want to simply just encourage you. Maybe you know somebody who's hurting. Maybe you yourself are hurting. Maybe you're going through some pain that you feel like you keep to yourself when no one understands. Maybe you've been moments where you're like, finally, I'm going to share something. I'm going to tell somebody. You don't know who you're going to tell. And so maybe you find yourself venting on Facebook, and maybe a couple people may respond, but then you realize that, man, no one, people are just scrolling past it. And I encourage you, there has to be an avenue, an outlet. There has to be a voice in the ear that you share. Facebook and social media are not always the best avenues. And it's important, I believe, that you find people, whether it's a counselor, leadership, pastor, whatever it may be, someone that can help lead you and guide you and along the way. Believe me, I believe in prayer. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe, man, that God can step in and intervene in moments, and he can turn things around. But I also believe the importance of having conversation, community, and speaking life, and talking about problems, talking about hurt and pain, and finding therapy. I don't believe you're less a man of God or woman of God because you save and you still desire a therapist. I believe the role of the Holy Spirit is absolutely incredible, necessary in our lives, but I also believe that God blessed men and humanity, and men and women in humanity with the mind. And so I encourage you, if you're hurting right now and you just need someone to talk to, you're praying, you're in your word, you're seeking the face of God, can I encourage you to find somebody? Maybe you're not at the place where you're having these suicidal thoughts and these attempts, or maybe suicidal thoughts or the desire to attempt suicide or things of that nature. But maybe you're just really walking through some time of deep difficulty, deep pain, deep anxiety. Listen, don't stay silent about that. Silence and secrecy, family, is a door that is so difficult to kick down. Your friends may know that you're hurting. Your family members may know that you're hurting. And every single time they ask you, hey, how you doing? What's going on? For whatever reason, maybe you're staying silent. They ask you how you're doing. You say, I'm good. They ask you what's going on. You say nothing. And but deep inside, there's this turmoil, this pain, this tug of war. There's this army that has waged a war within your heart, your mind, and your spirit that you feel like you're the victim every single waking day. The moment you wake up, depression visiting you. The moment you lay down, anxiety counsels you to sleep. And you feel like that even just standing up is a victory. Maybe you're hurting in silence, but the fact of the matter is you don't have to. You don't have to hurt in silence. You don't have to act like no one else cares, because maybe it's have a hard time finding community around you, but there's many resources around this world that there's people waiting with attentive ears to help you during your time of need. Man, it's sad to read that Facebook post and the Instagram about another pastor, another minister who took his own life. Let me tell you about ministry. Ministry is absolutely hard. It's difficult. I get asked all the time because I travel and speak and preach and ministry myself and things of nature. And people sometimes ask a pastor, so what do you do throughout your week? And so many people think the only thing a pastor will do on a Sunday morning or an evangelist does on a Sunday morning or whatever is just preach. But they have no idea, man, how exhausting and how how deeply committed to daily tasks they must be, from hospital calls to conversations to you're leading many people. You have a big budget, CEOs of things. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. And then you're giving all your time and your attention to someone else's pain. Then at sometimes wondering does anybody even see yours? The same people sometimes who are called to pray for you will talk about you. The same people who are called to lift you up will try to push you down. The same people that you feel that you're trying so hard to serve could be throwing spears and darts right back at you, but yet you're still called to love them, help them, serve them, equip them. You know what I'm saying? Ministry can be hard. And so, and then about it as well is that there's this, again, we're preaching faith, and as ministers, and we're preaching love and grace and truth and the gospel as we should. But I'm telling you, family, your ministers walk through the same pain, walk through the same difficulty. Now, I don't know anything about this young man who killed himself. I don't know anything about his life. And I dare not to try to use his example as a case study. Because man, his family is walking through so much pain. I don't know his story, but I just know from the many conversations I've had with people in my car and people in my office and people with titles and positions who's walking through secret pain, wondering, does anybody even care? The hardest thing about being a strong person is when people don't let you be weak. The hardest thing about being in ministry where you're called to uphold the gospel, you're called to uphold and preach a message of healing, is people don't give you an opportunity to be healed yourself. And so you people may have in their mind, well, who can I tell? What are they going to think about me? If the congregation know that I'm struggling, are they going to listen to me? Or am I going to be effective? Whatever. And so let me tell you, ministers, preachers, teachers, prophets, apostles, laymen, ambassadors of the gospel, Christians, let me tell you, do never allow your title to hinder your health. Never allow your responsibility to hinder your health. Never allow your position in a church or position of any sort of leadership to hinder your health. Never allow. If you need to talk to somebody, if you need help, if you need to take a break, if you need a sabbatical, if you need rest, if you need someone to preach to you, fight for yourself, fight for your family. The hardest door to kick down is secrecy. Again, like I said, people ask you, are you okay? And you say, I'm blessed, I'm highly favored. How you doing? I'm too blessed to be stressed. Knowing good and well you're walking through hell, putting makeup on a picture of hell, trying to exclaim it as heaven, explain it like heaven. Let me tell you, it's day and time that you give yourself permission to feel, and you give yourself permission to heal. Stop hurting in silence. Give attention to that areas of anxiety, areas of depression. I was scrolling through Instagram, and there's a very educated lady. Her name is Dr. Let me get it right. Dr. Caroline, and she writes many books. And she made a post. Caroline Leaf, Dr. Caroline Leaf, and she made a post. Here's some suicide quick facts. 800,000 people die of suicide worldwide every year. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States of all ages, right? Suicide is the leading cause of death in the world for 15 to 24-year-olds. 51% of male suicides are death by firearm. The highest suicide rate in the United States are among white, Native American, and Alaskan natives. And so women are more likely to have suicidal ideas than men, but suicide is 4 times higher in men in the United States. I guess that maybe it may cross the mind of women, but men sometimes actually do it. You know what I'm saying? And this may be stats, you may read it, but I don't want to simply be silent. I wanted to make this post, even though this may this is sad, but I want this to be alarming. If you're hurting in silent, pastors, teachers, ministers, even if you're not in ministry, find help. Get rid of your title. Forget about your position, your responsibility for a moment. Let me tell you, your church that you're preaching at even if they don't understand, your family will thank you for it. Let me tell you, that church will probably move on. You know what I mean? But your family will be effective forever. So you need to make sure that you are taking time for yourself to heal. You're taking time for yourself to say, you know what? I'm going to let somebody in. the hardest door to kick down is secrecy. So if you need to make sure you have, and I encourage you to have people in your life that you can be honest with, people in your life you can be transparent with, because this is the harsh reality you may feel, that no one cares about your pain. People just want your work. People just want your fruit. They don't care about your toiling, your effort. People just want success. They don't care about what you have to walk through and you went through to get there. Let me tell you, family, it is imperative. It is so important that you take that step past the title position and the responsibility you have on a Sunday morning and weekly responsibilities, and you fight for yourself, your children. Remind yourself, look at your children's face and remind yourself why you're here. It's not for the next sermon. You know what I'm saying? And so, and again, I know this type of thing is obviously it's beyond just ministers, but again, just definitely like reading the post of this young man who committed suicide, and there's many people in this world today who's dying of drug overdoses and ODing and things of that nature. And maybe their intention was not to kill themselves. Maybe they were self-medicating themselves through all this medication and things of that nature, and then obviously OD'd and lost their life. Maybe people, you're not trying to kill yourself. Maybe you're getting so much depression and so much pain, so much anxiety that you're trying to eat your problems away. And the first thing you do instead of to talk about it, you grab a spoon and a gallon of ice cream. You know what I'm saying? And so you may look at the ice cream, it's harmless. It tastes good. And I'm saying there's nothing wrong with ice cream. But again, if there's anything that you try to grab and consume and do to help you not to feel, right? And the problem is that we are learning to cope instead of to hope. With hope, to me, hope requires an action. Hope will push you to steps. Hope will push you to actions to find the help that you need to have. But coping will just say, well, there's nothing else I can do. I must deal with it. And so people will go to a bar and we'll go to these different extremes to help us feel better. You know what I'm saying? But it's not right, yo. Find the help. Don't just try to cope. Hope. And with hope, let there be actions, because there is help for you. Help for you. The Suicide Prevention Hotline, and I'm going to try to find that number real fast and give it to you just in case someone you hear are listening. I want you to definitely take the steps to find the help that you need. Don't stay silent. Don't stay silent. There's actually a lifeline chat in the Suicide Prevention Hotline. The Suicide Prevention Hotline is 800-273-8255. Once again, that's 800-273-8255. Ministers, people, individuals, regardless of your title, it's important you find some help. Listen, like I said this many times, and I said it over and over and over again, this podcast, hurting in silence is dangerous. Dangerous. Because we can smile, and people are so busy that they'll see a smile and think that everything's okay. Let me tell you, and I tell many people around this, and many people know me, and they can attest to this. I hate it. I hate it when I ask somebody, how you doing? And they tell me I'm good, and I know good and well they're lying. I hate when I'm in service, I'm at church, and I'm here, I know people, hey man, what's going on? And you can tell, and you can, whether discernment or whatever, you can just tell, man, they're lying through their teeth. And maybe they feel like this is the answer, the response is necessary because no one really cares. Maybe they feel like it because they don't really want to talk about it. Maybe they feel like, maybe they say these things because when they talk about it, it brings them to that mindset and that emotion. And so then it's easy for them not to acknowledge it because they don't have to feel it. But let me tell you, these things doesn't go away with time. The only thing that goes away with time is opportunity to fix it, confront it, overcome it. Find your help. The hardest door to kick down is secrecy, because no one knows the pain that's going on behind closed doors. And the only way to bring light into that dark place is to give an opportunity. I remember I share this story all the time, but I was young, and there was this big plank of wood that was laying down on the ground. And it was laying down on the ground for so long that the grass around the plank of wood was starting to turn white. So I was curious, and so I went over to that plank of wood, and I lifted up the plank of wood, and all of a sudden, all these roly-polies and beetles and earthworms started scurrying and moving around, started moving super fast. And I think back of that story, and I realized, man, family, that they didn't just started moving around because they were intimidated by my voice. I didn't talk junk about their mamas. I didn't buck at them. You know, I didn't say, what, fool? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing like nature. They was intimidated by me, my size. They didn't care less that I was 6'6", 300-something pounds. They didn't care less about my facial expression. They could care less about that. The reason why they started moving around is because when I opened and disturbed that plank of wood they were hiding under, the light that was introduced to that dark place, it caused them to move. Let me tell you how you maybe you know somebody, maybe you're a friend, and you're like, well, you know someone, they're cutting themselves, they're ODing, they're on drugs, they're doing drugs, and you're fearful they're going to OD, or they're doing drugs at all. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, I don't want to lose their friendship. Let me tell you what kind of friend you need to be. The kind of friend you need to be is someone that's lift up that plank of wood. Especially if you know all the pain that's going on behind their closed doors. If they don't want to open that door, figure out a way you can help them open it. And so if you know someone who's hurting in silence, be a voice. Help them help themselves. And so I encourage you, find wisdom, talk to a counselor, talk to leadership, talk to somebody who's equipped to give you some truth. But being silent about it and thinking that you're helping them, you're not helping them at all. You're equipping them. You know what I'm saying? And so that may be harsh to say. That may be hard to hear. But the only way to bring healing is to bring attention, not ignoring, not neglecting, attention. The hardest door to kick down is secrecy, because you never know what pain is going on behind the closed doors. You drive by neighborhoods, these houses look absolutely incredible. People spend all this tension, all this money, investment on houses, but there's pain in their homes. Think about that. You walk through neighborhood, every single home has a story, no matter how beautiful the house may look. Around their dinner tables, doors slamming, curses, people arguing, fights, people getting into arguments and confrontations in their homes, even though the houses look great. I feel like we need to give attention to the fact that we give so much attention to the way someone's house looks, their temple looks, walking through Sunday morning experience with their Sunday's best, with their houses painted, with their front doors looking nice, with wreaths over their doors and a welcome mat in front of them. You look at them like, man, everything must be perfect. But within their home, when you pass through the threshold of their doors, there's danger in their home. There's pain in their homes. There's hurt in their homes. There's depression in their homes. There's suicidal thoughts in their homes. There's loneliness in their homes. There's pain. There's hurt. There's unforgiveness in their homes. There's scars in their homes, family. We need to give attention to their homes. So when you want to visit them, when you want to ring that doorbell, be willing to knock a little longer. Be willing to peek through the windows of their hearts. When you ask them, how you doing? What's going on? And you feel like they're not being honest with you, lovingly, in a loving way, ask them, how are you really doing? Maybe they want to speak, but there's not the proper time. Maybe they want to talk about it. Maybe you ask them in passing in work, and the moment they talk about it, they know they're going to burst in tears, so they're silent about it. But maybe if you invite them to coffee, maybe if you invite them to dinner, maybe if you invite them into a place of privacy, they'll actually open it up. You know what I mean? And actually open up what really is going on. That's why I believe and doing ministry I believe in the book of Acts, the Bible says they went to the house breaking bread and the church multiplied. There's something about building deeper ministry when you get past the coffee shop, when you get past rather the passing by, meet me at the office type thing, and you really do life with someone, they really let you in. Listen, walk with people, be honest with people, talk with people. It's day and time that we help to kick down this door, because again, the hardest door to kick down is secrecy. So let's help give healing to someone's home as we look past the beauty of their own house. Motivators, like, comment, and subscribe. Do me a favor and share this podcast. There's hurt with many people around the world. Let's try to promote healing. Let's hope instead of cope, because hope should bring some actions. Talk to y'all later. Peace.